Christopher Nolan. What do you think about when you hear that name? Blockbusters, action, heroes, villains. Many things may come to your mind when you think of the incredible career of this man, but there is only one word that can truly be used: genius. Christopher Edward Nolan is a British-American producer, screenwriter and director. His most popular efforts consist of such titles as The Dark Knight, Inception and Interstellar, and that is only brushing the surface. So far across his career, he has had 34 Oscar nominations, winning 10 of them and grossing over $5.1 billion worldwide. While studios may praise Nolan for the profits he brings, many praise him for his raw filmmaking talent and his love of real, exciting action. His feature film directorial debut came through Following, which was released in 1999. Understandably, this was his lowest grossing film, only making $48,482 worldwide. Despite this low number in terms of income, the film only had a $6,000 budget. This is by far Nolan's least known feature film, being the only one of his 11 films not to break $1 million at the box office, but it showed glimpses and features of the Nolan we know today. Speaking of the Nolan we know today, one of his most fascinating areas of productions, in my opinion, is his use of action being done for real. Inception. What a film. From its set pieces to its characters and unconventional storytelling, it is my favourite Christopher Nolan film to date. But one thing that really hooks me in is the realism of the action scenes. In an age where CGI dominates the industry and we see so much that film productions take the easy way out and just slap actors into green screen rooms, and Nolan films in this time always seem to be a breath of fresh air. The final action set piece of Inception was a spectacle. They actually built the fortress set from scratch up in the mountains in Alberta, Canada, in an abandoned ski resort on Fortress Mountain. This created a beautiful backdrop of mountains that could not be replicated digitally. Not only did they build the set for real, they waited for real snow to film on a real location to have real actors and stunt performers perform real stunts.
In the end it dumped massively right before we got up there, and they had more snow than they've had for 30 years at that time of year, which was essential for the amount of action we had to stage there.
Not only did they create this set, they created a real avalanche with the snow using explosives. How many times have you seen final set pieces in blockbuster action movies where everything is fake? These real set pieces make you feel so much more involved and engaged in the scene, and make you feel a real sense of urgency for the characters. This realism makes the suspense of the scene weigh so much heavier than if it were 3D models flying at each other. And that is only talking about one of the action set pieces. How about when they actually flooded and collapsed the giant set in the opening action scene? Or when they actually built a rotating hallway rig in the Cardington Sheds in Bedfordshire for the rotating hallway scene, arguably the most iconic moment in the film, if not in all of Nolan's films. And these were also filmed on 35mm film with the occasional switch to 65mm. They built a real set for the fifth dimension scene in Interstellar, and the actors for Tenet actually practiced how to fight and move in reverse. I could talk for hours about Inception, or any other of Nolan's films for that matter, but I think we should talk about its influences and impacts. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against CGI, when it's used correctly. I love the MCU and going to the cinema to watch these insane visual spectacles, and that will really never get old. But I get a sense of further excitement and interest when it comes to Christopher Nolan films. If you haven't experienced one of his films in IMAX or in an incredible sound system, you are really missing out. Before the age of CGI, everything was done for real. All you need to do is look at some classic examples of Jackie Chan films, or any other older action films for that matter. I'm not saying that Nolan is the only one who still has a classic approach of practicality, but he certainly did have an impact. When you think of blockbusters, you often think of massive CGI set pieces, and that's become the norm of the industry. But Nolan broke this new stereotype, and not just for the sake of breaking stereotypes. His most well-known film has to be The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger's outstanding performance as the Joker to the captivating storyline. This film can stand up to any other in and outside its genre. explosions. Who doesn't love explosions? Well, definitely not Christopher Nolan, that's for sure. Let's say, for example, you wanted to make a movie which had a scene where a hospital is blown up. The first thing directors would do is get in contact with a highly skilled VFX team to create a realistic 3D model of a hospital and, well, make it explode. But not Nolan. He decided to actually blow up a real building that was filled to the brim with explosives set up by a pyrotechnics team. Now, obviously, not everyone has the budget to create such things, and as a low budget filmmaker myself, I couldn't even dream of getting my hands on such resources. But with so much of the budget that studios give to directors being spent on CGI, I feel that Nolan has the right idea, and in the end it creates a more realistic and convincing effect. And with a new surge of practically driven action films such as the ever popular John Wick and TV shows such as Daredevil, you have to just ask yourself, what was Christopher Nolan's impact on action?